Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another Virtual Wargaming Live Battle Report. Today, I am playing a game of Warhammer Fantasy 6th Edition Little Lords between Dark Elves and Dogs of War. This is my second attempt at recording this video, because I got about 10 minutes into the first one, and suddenly went, wait a second, I meant to have 5 ogres, why do I only have 3? And then I realized it was too late to make that change, just like on the fly add them, so I went, okay, I'm just going to restart. So, if I am sort of a bit scrambled and a bit lost, that's why in my mind, I've already done the first time. So, let me go ahead and introduce our armies again. So, for the Dark Elves, leading them, we have a Dark Elf Highborn on Black Dragon. Dragons were the thing that got me thinking about Little Lords in the first place. I think dragons are cool, I like dragons, I want to put dragons in my games, but they are way too expensive to work. In Warbands, I don't want to play like the 3,000 points minimum to make them worth considering. And then Little Lords like popped into my head as a solution. So I didn't do any yet because I was kind of scared that they'd be overpowered. But this is the last Little Lords of this month. Obviously there'll be more afterwards when I'm like slowed down a bit. And I went, screw it, we're going all in on this one. We're gonna run the dragon. So Dark Elf Highborn on a black dragon. She has heavy armor, she has the sea dragon cloak, and she has, you're not gonna believe this, the enchanted shield and a sword of might. In this particular case, I actually have a very good reason, which is I only had 40 points of magic items to spare after the dragon, so this was like the easiest good build I could come up with that limited pool of resources. And hopefully, like, she just needs to tear through things and not get hit, because she is the weak link in this unit. So, let's see how that goes for her. And joining the army, we have 2 units of Dark Elf Warriors, each equipped with repeater crossbows, a Reaper Bolt Thrower, and 12 Shades who have deployed back here. For the Dogs of War, we have, as I mentioned, 5 Ogres. These are using the Ogre Bull models, but they are just Dogs of War Ogres. They aren't using Bull Rush, or Bull Charge, I think it's called. They don't have any gear. They're just going in naked, so like no armor saves, no bonus attacks. We're just hoping that Strength 4 in 3 attacks is good enough. For our Lord, we have Lorenzo Lupo. I'm going to go ahead and flash him up on screen because I absolutely love the model I made for him. He is designed to try and look like the actual tabletop model. A lot of the time I'll like look at them and I'll take inspiration, but this time I was like, no, I want to try and like recreate them as best I can. Obviously it's not perfect. I don't have all the pieces. We don't have the sideways headpiece that is awesome, but I think I did a pretty decent job. He is being joined by a unit of 19 pikemen. And as you can see, they are surrounded by 3 units of 5 duelists. These duelists are designed to look a bit like the Walites. Specifically, I was imagining Century Chan's Walites, but, you know, just generic Walites. I feel like it makes sense with the sort of Roman theme that Lorenzo has going on. Speaking of Lorenzo's Roman theme, actually, I just clocked that I haven't generated what his bonus is for this game, so let us find out together. And he has 3 + 1 attack, which I have also noticed that he has the wrong stat line, so I will be back in a moment. Alright, and I am back, having updated his rules. I already had all of his rules correct, I just hadn't written down his stat line. So that gives him +1 attack, which brings him up to 5 attacks, which is frankly kind of insane, especially if something doesn't allow any armor saves. Or strength 4, no armor saves. So, with that out of the way, let's jump into what we have. Oh, objectives. So the Dogs of both sides got the invade objective. Dogs of War need to have 15 unit strength in this square here, and the Dark Elves need to have 11 unit strength in this square, and they have 12 shades, so they have actually already achieved this. They just need to keep their shades here and like find useful things to do with them to contribute to victory, and they have got this one in the bag. So, with that out of the way, let's finally jump into it, and we're going to be starting with Dogs of War, and we're going to, hang on, I'm actually going to grab these ones and scoot them forward 8 inches. I'm going to go 7.3, and I'm going to move her over a little bit. And this one's a little... And then we're going to move this one up to here, and this one out to here. Because what we're doing with our duelists is we are explicitly trying to screen off line of sight to the pikemen. We are screening the front for the moment because we don't want to get shot to pieces. However, as we get closer, what we're going to do is we're going to move the duelists in the front aside, and we're basically just going to try and cover all the sides to make sure the dragon doesn't have an easy in to harass, is the thinking. And we're also going to, as you can see, sort of encompass the rear a little bit, because these lines between skirmishers do also obstruct a line of sight. So like now, right now, the only angle that you can see into these guys is like from actually. So now like you need to be in this little gap to be able to get line of sight in, which I guess the shades can actually, hang on. I can make this better, can't I? I could move these girls a little more effectively to just cut. Yep, okay, so now there's basically no way that these guys can get shot at except through some very narrow gaps, which I have mostly covered up. So, there we go. And then over here, we're going to grab our ogres, and we're going to go 6 inches up. A big wheel, 4.9, 1.1 forward, and that is going to be them done. So the ogres are obviously going to try and get around the flank and just run amok through these guys. We're kind of, this entire force is meant to deal with the dragon primarily. So with that out of the way, let's get started. Move our shades up onto the high ground. There's actually no reason to keep them on the high ground. We're going to move them 5 inches forward. We're going to shoot the dragon over to here. So the one problem with this ring style is that breath weapons will still go straight through them. And we're just going to keep everything else where it is, and we're just going to open fire with everything. So I'm going to have to set my breath weapon up real quick like. Alright, so breath weapon, and we're going to throw it down to here. And I think that's kind of the best we can do, so we're going to have to send it to the... Actually, hang on, I don't need to send it to the back. I know. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys fully encompassed. I'm going to just double check that real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys, yep. And then 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 that are partially covered. So it's going to be 8 attacks that hit on 4s. 4 successes. Alright, so it's going to be, I said 6 or 10 attacks. Let me quickly read up on the breath weapon actually, because it does matter. The breath weapon, because I know it has a special effect, and I don't remember if it's armor save related. Units taking any casualties must pass a leadership test in order to declare charges next turn. That's in its strength 4. Okay, so that's going to be 10 attacks, hit on 1s, wound on 3s, save on 7s. They don't have heavy armor or anything. Oh, that's so painful. That's so unbelievably painful. And then we have our 2 duelists. Both of them get missed. So that is going to be a panic check for these guys. Please don't let them fail turn 1. Oh my goodness. Okay, they're failing turn 1. But they are going to flee directly away from her. So we're going to deal with these guys after. So Reaper Bolt Thrower at... I'm just going to hit the front duelists, honestly. So that's going to be 6 attacks. Hit on 4s, wound on 3s, save on 7s. Go. 2 dead duelists. They also need to make a panic check. And I believe the correct order is we do the panic checks all at the end, actually. So I am safe to wait until... I'm sorry, I'm just going to fire all of... Actually, I'll fire one then the other. So I will be using Lorenzo's leadership for this. But that's really bad. Okay, so... long range at skirmishes, and we're just going to do 6 shots. 12 shots, double our chances. Well, not double our chances, double our shots. Alright, same thing. 12 shots at this unit. Hit on 6s, wound on 4s, save on 7s. Go. Nothing. Okay. And then finally, these guys. We're going to shoot at... well, we can only really shoot at this unit here, can't we? So that's going to be 3 ups, we moved. We're shooting at long range, so 5 ups. Through skirmish is 6 up. Through cover becomes 7 ups. Honestly, may as well double shot this at this point in time. So 24 hit on 6s, go. 7 successes. 7 attacks, hit on 5s. 1. Okay, so I can actually just roll a single dice one time. Nope, no attack. Nothing else from that. So these guys also get to make a leadership test. 9. They have passed because they get to use Lorenzo's. So this is not ideal. It goes 6 inches this way, away from the cause of panic. Wheel, and then just like scoot them back into here. Which I guess is arguably a good thing in that if they can recover, we have some options. So let's find out if they, well, no. First, if terror checks, they're in range, they are barely in range, yep. So we're going to do terror check on this one. Passed, I believe, and passed, I believe. I'm going to just double check that real quick, but yep, duelists are 7. Okay. Now then, what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? So originally my plan was if these guys didn't get absolutely decimated, I was going to turn them around, point them at the Dragon Lord, and I was going to charge a unit into her. And basically the plan was if she would kill that unit, they would break, and then she would overrun into the pikemen. Speaking of which, I need to... no, I rally them after. But now that that's not going to happen, I'm not really sure what the correct decision here is. So we're not going to do any charges, we're just going to rally. Okay, so these guys have rallied, they're good. These 3 are going to move to here. And we are going to use them to screen off this side. And then these girls can... they're not going to be able to fully screen them. Actually, we're not even going to... I'm going to screen the front because I know that that's far enough that it matters. Oh, wait, what I could do is I could screen like this. And is that 1 inch? Yep, that's good. And then we can just screen off this side. And then again, let me just double check that everything is within 1 inch of each other. Because normally I keep my skirmishes really densely packed. But obviously today, I don't want to do that. So we're actually going to, for this one, place them a reasonable distance away. And yeah, that's gonna have to be good enough. So basically the thinking is, alright, I've committed to this decision, but I regret it already. My first thought was if we want to push these guys forward and try and get some fights and just force the get the victory points that we can, basically. Now that I'm looking at the situation, I'm going, but the dragon can just charge these girls, and then if it kills or overruns, it goes straight into the back of them. But like, whatever, it's what it has to be, right? Okay, so if they go 1.1 forward, then they can wheel, so they can't do that, so we're going to go full 6 inches forward. So the next time we can wheel these, I'm going to move back 2. And wheel them just a little bit. Oops, wrong one. 1.5. Yep, alright. And so then they can wheel a little bit less next turn and try and get through here. Because these ogres can absolutely just stomp over this whole army by themselves. which is probably another reason I didn't need to turn face Lorenzo this way, but whatever. What's done is done. So, that brings us to Dark Elf turn 2. Alright, so that's a huge blow. Do I declare the charge? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna declare the charge. Dragon Lord at the duelists. They have to make a leadership check, which they have passed. So, Dragon is in. Duelists, form ranks 5 wide. And then they'll wheel this way. Let me get them facing the right way real quick. Let me actually click the right button as well. Okay, so this is going to be very bad for us, but it is what it is. These guys, we're just going to double time 10 inches closer. They're not going to get anything done unless they close in fast. Okay, so we can just see over them because we're on a hill. I'm stupid. Yeah, we're just going to Reaper Bolt Thrower into the pikeman. Because I didn't even consider that it's up on an elevated position so it can see over things. These guys, however, can't. I think I really want to just break this unit though. So I'm going to go for it again. Alright, so they're all within half range. We didn't move, so just firing at skirmishes. So that's going to be a 4-up. I'm going to make it a 5-up and double shot them. So 12 attacks, hit on 5s, 1 on 4s, save 1 on 7s. We're fishing for literally 1 kill. Wow. Okay, we just wiped the unit. That actually can panic check both of these units too. And then this unit, I think we want to shoot into these duelists as well. No, I want to just put everything into Lorenzo's unit, actually. So that's going to be 12 attacks, hit on 5s. No, hit on 4s, actually. Wound on 4s, save on 6s. Go. 2 more dead pikemen. 2 more, and we've broken a rank. So, let's panic check for these guys. This is the danger of a very tight formation. So, Lorenzo and the duelists. Totally fine. And, I guess the other duelists. Alright, everyone's good. So, the fight here. This is, quite frankly, a farce of a combat, but we have to run it, so. We'll start with the Highborn. 3s to hit, 2s to wound, 7s to save. Go. Only 2 dead duelists. They might get the chance to strike back. That's a joke. They're not going to get the chance to strike back. 5 attacks, hit on 3s, wound on 2s, save on 7s. Go. Yep, they're all dead. And then we're going to immediately overrun, and that's going to put us 3d6 inches forward, straight into the rear of the Dogs of War. And that is going to be the end of the second end of Dark Elf turn 2. Okay, so in the movement phase, you are allowed to relocate your characters. So we're going to move Lorenzo to the back, so that he is fighting in this combat. And I think I might do something really silly with him. But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. So these guys are going to Ogre Bulls. Straighten out, that's 3.4. They are no longer march blocked. Yep. So they are then going to go 6. 8.6, I think it is. Yes. So these guys are now definitely in charge range for these. If they can kill them, then they can just swing around and start massacring this way. This fight, regardless of how it goes, is going to be interesting. So we're going to... I'm going to try and just move the duelist regularly, because I don't think... I would know Wait. I'm not cheating, I'm remeasuring something. I'm going to, with the duelists, declare a charge at the bolt thrower. She makes it. She makes it. The rest don't, but that's okay. That's totally fine. Because they are now all in combat. And importantly, I only need 2 to potentially kill them. Especially because I think the extras still count for combat resolution, so we still outnumber them, they just have a harder time killing them. Okay, combat phase. Do I issue a challenge? Let's seriously think about this. The Highborn goes first. She just needs to hit 3 wounds on him to kill him. And he has 4 attacks. But he has 5 attacks. He could kill her real easily. Even so, I think we have to go for it. So, we are going to be declaring a challenge with Lorenzo Lupo. Let us hit him with the dragon. Well, hit him with the Highborn. 4 attacks, hit on 3s. He is weapon skill 6 to her weapon skill 7. She will wound him on 3s because she is strength 5. And he has heavy armor. They lose 1 attack actually, so she's down to 3 attacks only. And he has a 4-up save, which becomes a 6-up save. Which is unfortunate, but like, whatever. 1 wound inflicted. Only 1 wound, pretty good. He gets to fight back. He makes 5 attacks. He hits her on 4s. He wounds her on 3s. She saves on 7s. Let's go. And he has just killed her. Straight up, she is dead. The dragon is still here, but the rider is not. That's actually pretty impressive, TBH. Okay, so now we have the dragon. So the dragon is also in base contact with him, so the dragon also will lose an attack. So it's only 4 attacks. It'll hit on 4s, it'll wound on 2s, and he'll save on 7s, but still 50-50 chance, and he only takes 1 wound. The mad lad's only gone and done it. Okay, so combat over here. 2 duelists facing 2 crew. 2 attacks, hit on 4s, wound on 4s. They have light armor, so 6s. Go. 1 dead crewman. The remaining crewman strikes back. Hits, does not wound. Okay. Let's do some combat resolution. So here we have a dragon in the rear, so that's a combat resolution. 2 points of combat resolution and no rank, but they outnumber, so that offsets them back to, goodness, what's going to come to me in a minute? Down by 1 right now. He did an extra wound, so it is currently a tie, but he is in the front rank, so that means that he gets +1. Well, he's in the fighting rank, not the front rank. So, the dragon has lost by 1, and that is going to send it fleeing 3d6 inches, 17 inches away. And I am not going to even bother pursuing that, so we're going to just restrain. Which I think we've failed, so actually we're going to pursue it. How far are we going to pursue it? Only 3 inches. Wow, good job, guys. Incredible. It's like 3 inches to here, and then we're going to just wheel that squad around. And then we will have to, on the Dark Elf turn, monster reaction chart, that one. Over here, outnumbered, dealt 1 wound. So the bolt thrower crew is fleeing, they're going 8 inches, we're going to pursue, that's 9, so 9 inches this way. A dead bolt thrower crew, a dead bolt thrower. Things are really quickly looking up for the for the Dogs of War. Goodness, cannot speak. So I finished Dark Elf turn 2. That's the end of turn 3 for our Dogs of War. So dragon. Let's see if he rallies. 6. He rallies, and monster reaction. He doesn't have anything weird happen, so he is totally fine. So that's going to be a problem for us, but that's a problem for us in the future. We're going to move our shades closer. We're going to keep these guys here. I'm just going to shoot the shit out of the pikemen and hope for the best. So, shooting phase. We are going to put these shots into the ogres. How are they doing? They are in short range now. And so that's going to be 12 shots that hit on 4s, wound on 5s, save on 7s, go. 2 wounds, just 1 ogre bull is wounded. And then the shades, they moved. They're shooting at this unit in cover. They are all in short range though. So that would be what? 3 ups, 4 ups, 5 ups. I'm going to just take the 6 ups to get double shots in. 4s, 6s, go. Yep, 2 off the back. That's enough to potentially panic them actually. And then these guys shooting at this unit. They're at long range actually, so same thing. I could have rolled these all together. Oh well. 4s and 6s, go. Nothing. Alright, so panic check for our dear pikemen. Nope. Okay, so let's see. These guys were 9 inches away, but they can't charge that far. Oh, end of Dark Elf, turn 3. So what we're going to do is duelists are going to charge at the crossbow warriors. We are actually going to turn these guys around. Actually, I'm going to move them like this. And then delete these guys. So turn and then 1.5 inches forward. We're basically just making sure that we are ready to take the dragon head on or take the shades head on if they charge. These guys are going to charge at the warriors. So we're going to form ranks 3 wide. I'll turn them around like this. I need to stop having them all offset, wheel it, and slam them in. The ogres are going to, are they still 8 inches away actually? Or did that massive, yep, they're good. Okay, so move forward about 3 inches. Wheel. I'm stupid, I put my finger on the wrong side. Wheel up to here. That was a 4.9 wheel. They'd moved 3 inches, I believe. So we'll go another like 4 forward. We're basically just making sure these guys have nowhere to go once the fight starts. Then over here, 3 duelists attacking. 3 hit on 4s, wound on 4s, save on. These guys have light armor only, no shields, so 6s. 1 dead Dark Elf Warrior. And that is actually enough because they can't fight back. So that's a flank, an outnumber, and a wound. Let's see if they flee. 7. Yep, that's going to be fleeing. They go 7 inches, and the duelists pursue them 11. They should have also taken a panic check last time, but whatever, it's fine. I don't care that much. Alright, so the ogre bulls, if the ogre bulls and the duelists occupy this area, they still score victory points for that. And keep in mind, this dragon normally worth 320 victory points, only worth like 64, I think, right now, off the top of my head. Quick mental math. So killing him isn't the biggest deal. Scoring these victory points over here is significantly more important. The shades are probably like the biggest deal right now because they are 168 points. But like, if they're not going anywhere, we've still already scored like what 200 and like 300 something points. I don't know. I can't do math right this second. All right, so that is the end of the Dogs of War turn. We are into the Dark Elves. We're just going to hold to these guys. We're going to charge. Oh. We're going to do something different. We're not going to charge them. We're actually going to be absolutely terrible people, and we're going to instead deny the fight entirely. So the plan here is pretty straightforward. We're just going to take the dragon and kill anything else that we can to try and thin the Dogs of War line first, and then we might come back and clean up here if we feel like it's necessary. So that's going to be short range on all of them, So that would be 4s to hit, 5s if they double shot. We're going to double shot that. 25 hit on 5s, win on 4s, save on 6s, go. And that is another panic check. So let us see. He is fine. He isn't panicking. And then these guys point blank into the ogres. 12 shots, hit on 4s, wound on 5s, save on 7s, go. And that's one dead ogre. Not enough to actually, like, seriously impede them, but still, that's something. Every bit counts. Okay, so that is end of Dark Elf turn. Is that, yep. Turn 4. Elf turn 4. Okay. Ogres are oh, let me pull the dead guys out here. Okay, so the ogres are going to charge the Dark Elves, and this is such a silly strat, but actually the duelists are hiding inside the forest because he can't fly into the forest, he can only run into the forest. And that might be a big enough gap that he can't do it this turn. That's such a funny strat, but like I think it's the correct one. Let's see, these guys don't have the line of sight to see them. Okay, so what we're gonna do, and we're within March block range, yeah, okay. These guys are going to wheel. Sorry, hang on, actually I'm gonna do this, do it like this. So form ranks 3 wide, wheel them this way back, and then wheel them 1.2 inches. Okay, and then we're going to go 1.5 forward. Okay, so 2 plus 1.5. I think that was 1.6. I just want to call it that. 2.8. So I've got 0.6 inches into here. So basically what we're doing is we're trying to get into cover so that the shades have the hardest time inflicting casualties, because if even one pikeman survives, that's like a huge victory in terms of victory points. Oh, and then this charge, obviously, I didn't declare it immediately, but like obviously that's what I'm doing. Alright, so that brings us to combat phase. These guys, 12 attacks, hit on 4s, wound on 3s, save on 7s, not 6s, 7s, go. 4 dead warriors. The remaining 2 can fight back. 2 attacks, hit on 3s, wound on 5s, save on 7s, go. 1 extra dead ogre. That's actually quite bad for us as well, but it's still a victory. They go fleeing. 8 inches, we're going to pursue 7. So 7 inches. 8 inches back. It's not like it matters on this turn. If they rally, they're just going to get charged again. If they don't rally, they're still going to get charged. Okay, so let's think about this. Is this... Okay, actually, hang on. He was facing this way, wasn't he? So he can't even do that charge. So we're going to declare charge this guy into these, because this is just sort of like what we kind of have to do. But nope, it's not close enough, so he only goes 6 inches forward. These ones are going to move up again. No, we're not going to move up. We're just going to hold still so we don't get a movement penalty. And then finally, the Ogre Bulls are going to... Well, no, sorry. We're going to check if we rally. We don't. We move 2 inches off the board. Yep, they're gone. Okay. This is an interesting game that is panning out right now. I don't know how it's going to go. I think it might come down to the wire, and that's like a really interesting outcome in my mind. This is 14 unit strength. This isn't even going to be enough to cap... Okay, I know what we're going to have to do next turn. As Dogs of War in our last turn. So, these guys are short range, but they are shooting into cover, so that's 4s. So we're going to take the 5s. Oh, we're going to have to like randomly assign these. Okay, so 5s with 24 shots, 7 successes. Okay, so every 5 is hit. Oh my goodness. Okay. So hey, I have good news. The good news is that the pikeman definitely survives. The bad news is that this is 6 attacks that hit on 1s, it will wound on 5s, and will save on 4s, all going into Lorenzo, and if one of them succeeds, he dies. And none of them succeeded. Our man is a Chad. He just like stood in front of the entire volley and caught all of it on his shield. He's like, nah. And not even on his shield, just actually on his body with those wounds. Holy. They're just like, nah, I'd win. And he was right. End of Dark Elf, turn 5. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to quickly recalculate the Dogs of War victory points required because I wrote it down, but I did it with an incorrect unit score. So that was 33 plus 6 divided by 3. Is this right? No, it's definitely not right because it was like 14.6 times 3. Okay, so 44. Does that make sense? 20 plus 15 plus 9. Honestly, just I can do plus 15. Yep. 50. Okay. Yep, so they need 17 unit strength in here. They have 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 available. 15, 16, 17. Okay. We can march them. We could try. Okay, can we even get in there? Let's seriously think about this. I don't think we can. This is such a stupid play, but I think it's the correct one. Okay, so we're going to break Lorenzo from the unit, and he's going to go 8 inches this way. This guarantees that he at least is in. Then we're going to update this guy's property to be slot 1. Okay, form ranks 2 wide. Wheel him back to that. Okay, so the reason we're doing this is because in order to get out, you need to wheel like this, and this is 1.2. Okay, 3. So we've gone 4.2. We've gone 4.8, so we have 3.2 left. So we're going to go here. Okay. And then these guys are going to group up here. Out of line of sight of the... No, we can't do that. We can't do that. That's not going to work. We're going to have to sprint 8 inches this way. And then the ogres are just going to have to exist. And that is the end of the last Dogs of War turn. Dragon turn. So we're going to fly him to here. And then he's going to face this way. And then these guys are going to all move up 5 inches. I'm actually going to rearrange them a little bit. So I'm actually going to pull these guys back. I'm going to move them like 5 inches to here. And like just sort of scoot them around. Just trying to get better line of sight to the pikemen. Okay, so finally, the breath weapon. It's coming out again. And I'm trying to see if there exists an angle that hits all of them. And the answer is... not really, not from that position. And we couldn't go any closer because of the forest. Like, I'm kind of softly cheating with that position, but it's fine. So this is for Lorenzo. Okay, so he's hit. He is wounded. He doesn't save. He is dead. Rest in pepperonis, my friend. Next up, we have 2 hits that wound on 3s going into the pikemen. So 1 is dead. And then, finally, the Shades are firing at the last guy. Okay, so anyone at long range is going to be single firing. Anyone at short range is going to be double firing. So that's going to be 6 at short range. So they move. So 3 is up, 3 ups, 4 ups, 5 ups, 6 ups. Okay. So 18 attacks, hit on 6s, wound on 4s, save on 6s, go. Doesn't matter, the last guy is killed. And with that, that is the end of the last Dark Elf turn and the end of the game. And I actually have to do victory point calculations, which is kind of shocking. So 190 plus... Oh, first actually let me mark the territory for the board edges. I want to see if I got in with the Dogs of War. And the answer is no, I didn't, so it wouldn't have mattered. And I'm going to call this unit still inside, because it's not, oh wait, actually, is it wholly within or is it partly within? Let me check if it has the word wholly in it. If it has wholly, we're not going to give it to them because they're a little bit over. And I should have been, like, more considerate of that. It's 1/3 of the unit strength. I think this counts. He's still in it. No, actually, I'm not going to count it because I wouldn't... If these models were deployed, they wouldn't count as being in the deployment zone. So I'm going to say that they don't count for victory points. So neither side gets its objective. So it's 190 points worth of pikemen, 25 for the 2 units of duelists that died. And how much was Lorenzo worth? Just 60 victory points. Kind of wild. So that's 300 victory points for the Dark Elves versus 100 plus 66 plus 66 plus... Okay. 490 minus 320 divided by 5. I'm going to bracket this off as well. 266. I'm going to just double check the math on the... Yes, that is correct. Okay. So that is a victory point difference of less than 50. Definitely more than 25. I'm going to actually never do math on stream or while you're recording. That has been beaten into me. For a game of this size, that is a draw. And you know what? It felt like a draw. To my surprise, I don't think dragons are completely busted in this. I think they do require, like, your lord to be ready and able to handle them. But, like, that was the solution, is I put my lord to fight him, and we didn't kill the dragon, but we did kill the guy on the dragon, and then we won the combat, and the dragon just, like, it didn't stop being a problem. It was always a problem. But, like, other stuff is always a problem, too. Like, the shades were always a problem. I didn't have a solution to them. Put a hero on an eagle, and that's always going to be a problem until you deal with it. Like, I don't think it was that big of a deal. So yeah, there's definitely going to be more dragons and little lords whenever that happens. But anyway, with that out of the way, the game over. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. I'm kind of in favor of this map. I think it's not terrible. I think the fact that the forests are little actually really makes it more tenable. So I'm going to do it again in the future. We're going to see how it pans out. And maybe it'll be like a niche one, but that's fine. So, tomorrow is going to be Bretonia versus Beastmen in the last Border Patrol game. And then, look, there's no point being coy about what the final matchup is. It is going to be a standard game. It is going to be Skaven versus Empire. And I'm not going to tell you what the twist is yet. You've got 2 more days to wait. So, until then, boy.